Welcome back to the DreamHack PUBG Showdown, coming to you live from DreamHack Austin. Now, before the break, we saw Shroud and Dr. Disrespect get knocked out maybe a bit earlier than we expected.
Yeah, they got caught. So when we talked last time around, we said the big key for Shroud and Doc that could cost them is a lot of people in the last circle and getting third party. That's exactly what happened. They took a fight on a hill. They fought off a duo exquisitely, we'll say very, very well. Yeah. Doc got knocked in the exchange, and to his credit, Shroud very bravely went for a non-smoke open air res. And I don't know if maybe Dr. Rich knew or not that by letting him res and then getting the kill, he would double his bounty money, but he definitely sat there and waited till the last possible second, got the double, and it was just because they were out in the open and third partied for sure.
Yeah, also, I mean, he snuck all the way and he heard the fight go down, and he can easily push up and not worry about anybody else. So came out of the blue and make sure that he got that bounty.
Well, at the end of that first round, Doc and Shroud are in 5th place on the leaderboard with 210 points. But up at the top are Shadow Fudge, coming in first with 544 points.
It's a big up.
Beautiful.
So they're currently looking like they could, if they keep it up, be going to DreamHack Winter, all expenses paid.
Yeah, you can tell watching Shadow, he knows what he's doing. He played very, very well. They got a good kill count. That's going to be a key to coming out here on top with the all expense paid trip, is getting kills and placement. Placement, if he without those kills, we saw second place, had no kills. Yeah. So their placement points are great, but they're still going to struggle to sort of maintain the top of the leaderboard unless they're racking up a minimum of, I would say, 6 kills per team, sort of, and getting a top 5.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you need to have kills on top. I mean, of course, you can snake into the placements, but you need to have kills as well if you want to be consistent, because it's all about the average points, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, despite there being 31 teams on stage, Matchroom has managed to track down our winners of the first round, Shadow Fudge, so we'll go over to them now.
And hello, here we are in what is being dubbed as the Cubicle of Champions, because we have the killers of Doc and Shroud right over here, and the winners of the last round with El Fudge Grande and Shadow, rocking up a 12 kill total inside of that round. So you guys excited for the next round?
Yeah, pretty excited. Let's do it again.
So Shadow, from my understanding, but you guys have been playing inside of the semi-pro scene, trying to work your way up for quite a while now. And so whenever I walked up, there was just crowds of people up there. How does it feel to be playing on the stage right now and have so many people coming up and congratulating?
It's just super exciting. It's really a dream come true. It's just like which any player could ever ask for, and I'm so humbled to be here.
So I've got to ask now, which one of you guys is doing the in-game calling? I think we got some fragging going on. Are you going to come back and try to go up against his 10 count?
I'm going to do my best. I'm gonna aim for 3 on this one. If you can just keep it at a 9, that'd be nice.
All right, so with that, anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to say hi, Mom, and shout out to High Ground.
And you, Grande?
I got nothing.
All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and throw it back over to the analyst desk, and hopefully we'll see these guys in another round soon.
Thank you, Matchroom. Anyone want to say hi to their mums? Take the opportunity.
Hi, Mom. Hi, kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a 3-year-old watching at home. He's a budding caster. Do you think that we could see you and your son one day doing an Arctic Thunder?
You know, it never even occurred to me to play with him at some point. I always thought my 2 boys maybe, you know, as they grow up and sort of learn the game, get into it. That'll be cool.
So you're transitioning from a player to more of a coach position, maybe?
I mean, if that's what they want, if they want to play football, that's cool. But if they want to do esports, like, you back that. You help them out and teach them the right way to do it.
It is a tip to all the parents out there. You know, your kids could probably buy you a home if you start training them now. That's my top tip. Now we're going to go shortly into the second round. Last time, of course, we had the drop for Doc and Shroud at Kameshki. Do you think they're going to go there again, Avenger?
I mean, I would switch it up because, of course, you have some of these teams, they saw it, they might have even gone back to the VODs and seen where's the drops, where's the available. So I would switch it up if I was Doc and Shroud.
Especially because there's a bounty on their heads, right? Yeah. So you know that if you kill them, you get a little extra cash in your pocket, and a little extra cash around Austin means an extra lot of fun. So they might try to drop them. So if I'm those 2, I'm definitely switching it up, going somewhere different, but continuing with their plan of staying, you know, out of the fray. Go to Zarky. Sam, yeah, I was just thinking that. Go out to Zarky, go somewhere like that where you still have enough loot, you have time to transition, but you're not going to run into too much trouble.
Yeah. Any predictions for kills this time, guys?
I just want to see Doc get like 3. Was that hurtful?
Yeah, it felt a bit hurtful. I just want to see Shroud go do 2 digits.
I'm gonna go for a draw. I want to keep things cool between those guys, keep that bromance blossoming over in their cubicle. We need a nickname for their cubicle now, I think.
Love Shack.
Love Shack, brilliant.
The Love Shack,
Doc and Shroud in the Love Shack. But we have to go over to our casters. Dearman and Matrim, are you there?
Yes.
Hey.
Good to see you. It's my first time on, and Matt, you've been hogging the limelight, mate.
I've been bouncing around everywhere. I mean, I've been having to run all over this stage, and man, it is such a nice stage, though.
Yeah, we've been having fun with it.
Good.
It's the self-tour he's been getting for himself. Nice.
We need to get your predictions as well, of course. It would be rude for me not to ask.
I'm thinking Shadow did very well in that last game. I did see there's a couple of cheeky Team Secret players in there, Papaya and Smitty, who got gunned down by a random. So I'm hoping to see them doing a little better in this one.
You picked up the two that I was going to go with. I mean, we saw Elfudge Grande and Shadow just do a great job last time. And naturally, didn't see a lot out of the Team Secret guys, but I think that's just kind of, they got caught unaware. So hopefully we see something coming out of them. But I would also like to see a really solid top 10 with maybe them and Shroud and Doc all together inside of it. I think that would be just great.
You know, I actually asked Papaya over there, I was like, what happened? And he pointed at Smitty. When he did it, he did it. So at least they're having a good time out there.
Well, we'll let you guys take it away for round 2 because I just can't wait to see what's going to happen this time.
Thank you very much, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first showing in DreamHack. We're going to be casting all weekend. Of course, lots of games to go through, but to start with, we are doing the duo tournaments. It is 5 rounds, and we're into round number 2. If you missed the first round and you're on the streams, well, you missed a cracker, that's for sure, because Mr. Twitch, D-Rich, get on his channel, follow him, D-Rich, because that boy's going to be famous. He took down not only the Doc and Shroud together in a 2v1. I mean, it was a little harsh.
He was playing so patiently, too. Like, he was sitting there paying attention to everything that was happening around there. Yeah, but he still managed to make something off of it. And so, on top of that, we also got to see Elfudge Grande and Shadow come out with 12 kills. I mean, that's absolutely
knew what they
ridiculous.
Well, Shadow definitely sort of knew. Yeah. He knew his way around the game, that's for sure. Because as soon as they got a knock, you could see the aggression, the push straight in the tree. He was not afraid to try and go straight for the jugular there, so it certainly did very well in the previous matchup. But of course, that was the last game, and we're getting into the next one. So Matt, what are we thinking? Are we going to see them dropping Kameshki again? Are we going to see people maybe doing a little prep and having a look and say, okay, if they're going to go there? Are we ever going to see the school drop come out of the boys?
Well, see, I don't know. Like, you'd think that they're probably not going to go Kamishki because there's nothing worse than going Kamishki and then getting a military-based circle. So we're probably going to see them pull off and try to go to somewhere that's a little bit, like, safer. It all kind of depends on how it comes out through here. So we can already kind of see that we're getting into game here right now. So it should be popping up in just a moment. But I'm going to be kind of curious to see how the rest of the teams play around this. Like, how much adaptation are we going to see based off of all of the duos that dropped on this first round?
I want to see if the Shroud hard carry continues, because the Doc, he nearly got iron sighted in that last game. It was close. That would have been rough. But to be fair, I think he only had like 2 or 3 kills in the game. But I did see there was one bike exploded that he blew up that didn't get the kill credit. Killed the boat, blew the boats up, 2 died, didn't get the kill credit. So it was a little harsh.
I mean, it's almost like it's not fair. He should have ended up with way more kills, but everybody just got way too freaked out from what he was doing and then just kind of killed themselves. So, I mean, there's some, like, respect to be had inside of that.
Well, the plane route's not going to be too bad, so we can see it on our screens. You guys can't just yet. It is going to go across Severny and then down to Primorsk, so obviously all the players are going to be planning exactly where to go. Where would you go? Duos tournament, you know, money on the line. You're trying to predict where the Doc and Shroud are going to be because you can get $60 per kill, and obviously the skins to go with it.
See, I'm a survivor style. I always kind of drop, do some trash looting, and then kind of come in with as much gear as I can into the late game. But I mean, if it was
going to be the long game, then.
Yeah, you know, I like to play the much more relaxed start to PUBG instead of drop school and just be like, and murder everything around me.
Yeah, well, actually, to be fair, I'd be surprised if people do that. I mean, there is only 62 in the server, so there's a lot of area that people can go into. We did just see the circle finishing on Sosnovka, of course. We could see where it's going to go. It does look like the game is about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. The bird is in the air, so let's get the game on your screens. This beautiful stage looks like it's about to host, and we'll see whether Twitch and Shroud... Twitch and Shroud? Well, I mean, technically they do go in hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're certainly going hand in hand right now, as he's got plenty of viewers on. Of course, these 2 guys are both streaming themselves. The Doc as well alongside him, and it is going to be early drops for a couple of people going out Severny way. Let's have a look and see where the Doc goes. I'm going to keep my eye on them as they try and go across the map.
Naturally, with this, you're going to see a lot of push over towards the eastern side of the map, just due to the fact that everybody's going to try to separate out, try to get as far away from they can from the initial plane path. But it should leave pretty much everything on the table that you would want to go to, unless you want to go like Novo or maybe Miltipower or Lippo. So there's a lot of options inside of a plane path like this. So that's why you're seeing, we might be able to see a couple of squads actually just drop next to each other. It's all a matter of like your play style at this point.
There they go.
Do you
They're
play
late.
aggressive?
They're late dropping. So it looks like a ferry pier for them. I can see Nibbly is Dibbly is nearby, who had a great little moment in the previous game, but doesn't look like he's going to drop on towards them. I can see Samson knows as well, actually going on the same path as them.
Well, yeah, we're going to have about 5 people there from what it looks like popping off in there. It looks like Shroud might be going for a little bit further of push. They might be trying to go for melee. Yeah, they saw the amount of parachutes that are going to be coming out around them, so they're just going to go and extend this a little bit further. Now, we have a whole bunch of different spots along the map where we have little minor skirmishes that might be happening here relatively soon. Specifically around the center of the map is just crammed full of people.
Oh, there's Papaya and Smitty. They're going in towards the buildings. And this is like the thing for duos, right? Oh, there's a car straight away. I don't want a pickle. He's not having a pickle. He's managed to pick himself up a kill early on, though. Here's Miski dropping down at the garage. The yellow's popular, as you would expect. I can see Chef, you can see Co going down there. These sort of coastal buildings, this is like prime territory for duos, because there's kind of enough around there just about to get, you know, a decent amount of loot for the duo tournaments. There you can see the 2 times and Shroud, and Samson still kind of floating long above them, but he's got to be careful. If they find themselves a vehicle and he's dropping in late, he's really hanging that parachute up well.
Well, I mean, he's trying to figure out exactly where they're going to go, because it looks like he was trying to go towards those yellows that are just on the other side, and it looks like that's the exact same direction that they're going. They're already down on the ground, so you don't want to drop down inside that. But we do have our circle that is up, and it looks like it's going to be pushing over towards the Georgia Pool area. So all these guys that, it just seems like no matter where Doc and Shroud go, the circle just goes to the complete opposite side of the map.
I mean, they did drop Kameshki in the previous game, so you're kind of expecting it when you go Kameshki. You can see this battle in Pachinki as they're hopping across the roofs. There is a couple of teams in there, but it looks like one blasting by. Our previous champions, by the way, Shadow and El Fudge Grande, great name, by the way, is, where are they? They're actually in Watertown at the moment. But the 2 times and Shroud, they're going to get themselves plenty of loot in there now. They've managed to drop in. That's going to be his vehicle going away. Samson knows. Don't know where his teammate's gone. His teammate is Nibbly is Dibbly, and he's miles away towards the south of Pachinki. So these guys are playing a complete separate strat.
Hey, sometimes when you got to loot, you just got to loot. You got to leave your teammate behind, just go wherever you can. But, I mean, Samson knows could potentially have all the military base to himself. Nibbly could be in a little bit more of a rough spot, as you can see as we're coming over here. He's got some eyes on everything going around him. He has absolutely nothing at this point.
Absolutely nothing. We'll see whether he's managed to get it. Hungry Ari in the distance. Clearly a player of another MOBA game. But Nibbly is Dibbly. He's going to get himself a pistol, so he's all right. He's just going to ignore the pistol. No, there we go. Okay, he's going to get himself loaded up.
And so now it's going to be a matter of how he's going to play this. You can see that those guys are way off in the distance, so he has a couple of buildings, but this isn't necessarily the best place to come and try to get any loot to really work with. So he's going to probably come out of this with maybe a helmet, maybe a armor. But as with that, we're coming over here with Will Jam, who just got taken down.
Oh, and it's the famous D-Rich. Takes down another. Got himself $100 in the previous game for taking down both the Doc and Shroud. And we'll see whether he's going to be able to continue it. Looks really the teammate of the man he just took down in apartments over at school. He's looking for him. Who's Rich's teammate? I don't see him.
We didn't actually get your school
So I think
game,
he went down.
But we did actually get pretty close to it. So over here with the apartment. So yes, we're over here with D-Rich.
Oh, it's a Vor. That was the guy that got knocked by the car.
Mm-hmm. And so we actually also have a Pachinki fight coming off, as we saw everybody was going to the rooftops earlier and drop in right as soon as somebody's getting dropped.
Well, Fern managing to pick himself up a quick double there. Working out well for him with the M4, so no problem there.
So now we have the Kings of Pachinki. Looks like we're still trying to figure out who's going to be the Kings of the apartment area. Luxury Elite still looking over that direction. And now we're popping over with Papaya. Remember, we talked about both of these guys earlier, kind of hoping a little bit more out of them. The first round wasn't necessarily what we wanted to see, but you can see that they're already fairly looted at this point. It's going to be interesting to see how they play out through the rest of this round.
Well, he doesn't want a pickle. We'll see what he does want as he looks around. Here's Dave. Got some good FPS, it seems. Nibbly. Oh, he's got himself a red dot on the pistol. Yeah, I was going to say that he's not really the pistol. He's going to go for the shots. All right, why not? You know, no helmet, no vest, I don't think either. He's got himself a shotgun and a pistol, and he's happy to take 2 on. Yet the irony is they're running away from him. So obviously all these buildings now are looted, so he's really in trouble. He doesn't have a vehicle, has a long way to go because he's down near Gatko way.
That's just the worst.
Oh, his teammate's coming in.
You're just trying your hardest to find any loot, so you're just bouncing from place to place, and everywhere you go is just got another duo that's just taken off in front of it. Meanwhile, there's the guys over in Georgia Pool that just get to loot to their heart's content for at least this circle. And oh wait, we got the UAZ catching some air. Is it gonna right itself? Yes, I think it should be able to. There we go.
Yeah, totally meant that. Totally meant that. Didn't work out too well previously. Here comes the boys, making their way across. Use the boat. They had a vehicle. They were expecting a bridge camp, perhaps.
Well, playing it a little bit safe. They saw a lot of the parachutes come down in this area. Remember, they did come over Ferry Pier, so they were just making sure to come in on as safe a path as they can. And it looks like we actually do have a noob face and Papaya right next to each other.
Yes, Papaya backing away from this one. Somebody in the building. So he's going to have to back away from that one. Doesn't want to take on noob face and probably doesn't want to get embarrassed like he was in the previous matchup. And can't blame Smitty this time if he gets around the side, but he's going for the flank. It's a tricky position for noob face because as you can see where Papaya is, it is on the same level as the second story, so it's not really like you have an advantage being high up. And realizing we're going to back away, Smitty joins him. Can't see where his teammate is. It doesn't really have it. Oh, it's I Don't Want to Pickle is his teammate, who's a long, long way off at the moment. So Noobface is all alone in this 2v1.
And I think that's a smart call from Noobface. He kind of lost track of where everybody on Secret was at, so he instantly retreats back, pulls back into could be a little bit more of a defendable location, and if he needs to, he can kind of pull out of this. But we're dropping back over here with Doc and Shroud, who just landed inside the gas station that does have a duo just over towards their west. It looks like they're playing along the hillside.
Yeah, got himself a decent bit of loot. Gonna get himself some ammo as well for the M16. Happy with that. Shroud rocking the double barrel. I've seen him doing some pretty impressive thing on stairs with his double barrel, so we'll see whether he's going to be able to keep it up. Doesn't have a gun on his back either, so they're hurting for loot at the moment.
You can tell that Doc and Shroud seem like they're playing a little bit more passive this round. They were playing a lot more aggressive. They were taking any fight that they could come across, and they were going for harder to go, like hard potential fight areas to get loot from. This time around that they're kind of like slow playing it. They're just going wherever they can, and they don't necessarily have all the tools that they had inside of last round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what path they go, because all of these buildings, you can see everybody is on foot. All these buildings that work their way in towards the circle, they are basically all looted right now. So they're either going to have to swing way out north or go, I don't know, down into Primorsk or something just before the circle closes in. It is starting to collapse down. It's going to be a long way off, though. Meanwhile, we join Dayagami, I think is...
Dayagami sounds right to me.
I'm going to go with that one. Alfie is his teammate off in the distance there, so pretty well spread.
And following up with Fizzle as well. They're doing a little bit of back and forth, hiding over inside the shack there. Does manage to get a line of sight over onto the car that's going off in the distance, but not necessarily lining up. But he's going to run directly across this road right over to the teammate. Is Dayagami going to see this?
He's got no health. He's got first aid. Just get down and use that first aid, man.
He has confidence in his shots. Fizzle wants to go for this, but it's going to give away his position as he steps up. He does get line of sight on him.
Are you kidding?
Walks up back behind him, and Fizzle gets the kill on that.
Dayagami, I think his headset's on the wrong way around. He was looking to his right instead of his left, and, well, it was in the end, it was fairly easy for Fizzle. Didn't obviously need the first aid, you know, obviously second-guessed me much better than anyone else. Samson knows he's still on Sosnovka, the 2 times, and Shroud sitting in and around the bridge area, the eastern bridge, western bridge, sorry. That is a Knight's Crate.
That has got just about everything you could possibly want inside of it. And it's coming in right as we have the blue that's going to start forcing everybody to like push into the safe circle. And look how many teams are already playing edge, specifically along the southern area of the circle. That can be kind of a gatekeeping position that can come out here. Can see our last winners right there, Shadow and Elfudge Grande holding down that quad stack in a great position as Arctic Thunder is pushing over that direction.
This is not good. Arctic Thunder, probably one of the oldest players in this, wasn't able to save his daughter, which is Athena's Rage. So walking his way in, Shadow, obviously the champion of the previous game, being pushed. Now the question is, will they be expected to be pushed from this position? You're ordinarily looking towards the bridge. They do drop down. Shadow may well have just heard the footsteps. Certainly will do. He's going to peek around that wall. He's going to have wall advantage as well. Gets a little hop around, but this is up close and personal with the S12. No, he went for the weapon switch, and Shadow peeks around. AK easy in the end for him. Now Athena stuck at the tree, kind of trying to hold the angle. Thompson from this range is really not going to do a great deal. Gonna see, she doesn't have a decent gun on the back. It looks like a micro Uzi on the back as well. Shadow, yeah, M16 with the 6 times, has all the tools he needs to try and win his fight.
Shadow's doing a switch up to all the different guns, just trying to get a vibe of what's going on. Pulled out the grenade for a second. Think about going for a very long-distance grenade. That's how he got the last round. Throwing it out there. Let's see if he can manage to line it up. It's going to be close, but comes just a little short. Athena's Rage just wants to get out of this fight as explosions come down. Full-on retreat. But I got to say, Shadow and Elfudge Grande are trying to make a name for themselves.
Well, Shroud going to secure that one. The 2 times took down Samson Nose. He was the only other man on Sosnovka, so came over the bridge straight in towards him. Another bridge camp set up by the duo there. Athena's Rage, meanwhile, still being hunted down here. Shadow on the flank going left.
I really like this. You can see they're coming across 2 different directions right now, making it to where there's absolutely nowhere for Athena to go, and she just gets dropped.
Yeah, so well played from them. Basically an equipment battle there coming out on top, really, and he obviously heard the footsteps coming, did have the wall position. Now he's going to go for Darshan. Darshan trying to get blasted on by in the UAZ, took a lot of damage. He's going to be able to get away with this one. Tries to spin out. Did he manage to pop the tire there? Looks like he did. Bails out, fat-fingered from Hastel. Does get out while the vehicle's still spinning. Will be able to get revived. Will they close the gap in time? I don't think they're going to chase this one. They'll probably prefer to stay, and they probably don't realize they maybe spun the vehicle out because it's just out of vision.
Well, it's also in a very awkward spot to push over towards. You don't want to push over through those hills. Much better to go back, claim your defendable location, play along the walls. If anybody comes over and tries to push into your area, do something with it.
You know, Shroud and Doc were very under-equipped, but they just took down Samson Nose, who basically looted Sosnovka military base all on his own. So I'm pretty sure Shroud just got pretty well equipped. Fugasan going down, Shadow doing some work, and El Grande finally going to get himself one there.
He's on his track. Remember the fact that he said he wanted to get 3 this round, so he's got his 1 coming out there. Shadow's doing a great job of racking up kills for himself. It's kind of interesting that we're seeing so much play coming in this specific area as everybody's starting to move down south from those upper areas that they were holding on. But look at everybody. There is just so many people just clustered around this area.
Shroud taking shots. It's Nibbly Dibbly. It's actually, they just killed his teammate a minute ago, so coming into the south of Chopsticks. Gets around the side. They did just take shots from Nibbly. So they know that somebody is at that compound. Now, if you actually look, you can see there's a couple of players around here. There's team 28, or is it 29, that's on the south building down there. You can see those 2 down there. So this is a really tricky position from them. Gonna peek around the side there. The 2 times takes a couple of shots. He's only got the iron sights on the Scar L, not ideal for him. You can see Shroud taken very low there by Nibbly's Dibbly.
And they don't want to push inside the shack. They know that could potentially be a death trap, but there's so many other duos that are out and around him. Long range flashbang coming out there. And from Nibbly, it's going to look like it may have affected them just a little bit. Shroud does get hit with another one, trying to step forward, trying to push over towards Nibbly. Just can't find him as he goes back and forth on the other side of that wall. And they're just doing a hard push right now.
We're on the event server, remember. If that was on live, it would have been huge. It's a big 6-second flash now on patch 14. We are on patch 13. 2 times. He's going to surely find him as he gets around the side there. Nibbly manages to quick duck behind the wall. He's going to peek around. It's going to be the Doc versus him. He's going to come around with the iron sights. He's going to be caught in the back, and the 2 times champion will take him down.
That was some great play coming out from Nibbly, though. Trying to play along that outside wall, going for a back flank, going all the way back around him, really forcing them to actually play multiple angles there. I gotta say that was some solid play coming out for him. Sure, he didn't come out with any kills off of it, but with a really smart play.
And they got a little lucky there, I feel, because there was no third party in from Deathstroke and his team down there, Team 29. Meanwhile, we go up to the compound. This is north of Chopsticks. Very strong compound to hold out. It looks like Phil Collin looking to try and peek on there. Lucha gets around the side. A quick headshot says goodbye. And he's going to drop out. His teammate is down, but he's fine. He's got himself 4 kills, that team so far,
and
so they're looking pretty good.
Look at that gear he has on him. He has just about everything you could possibly want. He's in a great position to move himself into the mid-game right now. We can see that Shroud and Doc are actually caught into a little bit of a skirmish with Squad 29, who managed to pull out and starting to make their way towards the safe circle. We only have a couple more seconds before it's going to be right on the heels of Doc and Shroud, though.
Yeah, they're going to have to get moving on this one. You can see Car 98 was picked up by Shroud, so he did manage to find himself a decent amount of loot. Only had the shotgun earlier on, didn't he? So he's managed to get himself looted up. Meanwhile, Shadow and co, they've been collecting kills over on that compound. Here we go. Everybody making their way in towards South Georgipol and North Georgipol. It's going to get crowded. Looks like it's going to be an urban finish here, man.
Oh, that's such a great team name. Derp Penguin does get taken down. You can see Derp Clockwork gets taken out in the distance as well. Trying to go up from there. It's going to be a lot of people are already kind of bunkering down around the Georgipol area. Actually, Clockwork is still up and active. He's just got a smidgen of life there.
Very little. Gets himself stuck behind the wall, so a lot of areas to hide. He does have S1 coming in behind him.
So Clockwork's doing a push over. You can see this is turning into that bad neighborhood that Georgipol can sometimes turn into, as everybody's just kind of hunkering down. Everybody's kind of getting their own little section that they're trying to play off of. GT Money's over in the crates area, but it looks like Shroud has managed to make it in the safe zone. Doc is still playing on the outside of this, still trying to hunt down Squad 29.
Yeah, they've managed to pop over, make the move, but as you can say, they are pushing. There's actually 2 squads nearby. There's another one off to their right-hand side as well. You can see just over in the other building. So they've got to be careful. That's over and towards Gatka side. So Pushing in towards this garage compound. One man staring straight down the street, manages to get a couple of shots onto the Doc. Shroud, meanwhile, going for the peek. Doc's going to go for a double peek. That's dangerous. Realizes it, has to tuck in and heal himself up now. Shroud trying to land the shots.
See Shroud just off the corner on the side of that, just trying to line up some shots through that window. Can't necessarily get the cleanest line of sight as everybody retreats back off of this. Doc's now found himself in a really hard spot. The Blues coming up right on top of him. There are 3 duos all in about 150 to 200 meters of each other. So Shroud really wants to get the kills off of this. You can see that they're now separating out, pushing to 2 different angles, and this is what they're gonna try to do to catch these guys as they have to position out, as the Blues now coming in right on top of them.
This is risky because Shroud has got the blue on his back, but they're gonna be both pushing him. He's in an open field, turns around, pops a Kar98 shot off just like that with a hollow.
Knows exactly where Max Burnout is, trying to peer around that side. The bushes are kind of obfuscating this line of sight for him, but he does manage to see it, trying to line him up, and it's gonna be the Doc that does get the kill off of that. So now there is the other duo that's just off to the side of them, but they're pushing over into the hay bales and potentially running into another duo. Finally, Doc and Shroud looks like they have a little bit of a reprieve, but they have a long walk ahead of them.
Look at Tech Squirt, they're over the radar tower. They've got an easy angle. He's gonna be up on high there. You can see his teammate Firelink is gonna be down low. Meanwhile, the Squirt, Tech Squirt, gonna have the high angle. You can see he's up on the defilade on the side there at the radar tower. And this is all outside the zone at the moment. You can see the circle very much donuted in. Stankley making his way out, while Secret have Smitty and Papaya. Looks like they've pushed both of these players from range. Looks like Papaya's took a fair bit of damage as well. For Team Secret, he's gonna be playing tomorrow in the tournament, of course.
Heartless rocking the VSS, got a lot of love for that in the last round. You know, it's one of those options that you can, sometimes people choose to play it, but it's not necessarily the strongest of weapons. At this stage, it might actually be a little bit of a benefit because all of these duos have to run down and still make it inside the safe circle. So it's all gonna be about repositioning around each other, but Secret's gonna be running right up over next to Murder Train and Stankley.
Smitty still rocking that DP. This is what Team Secret is kind of known for. The damage, the amount of bullets you got. They're getting pushed from behind, they're pushing in the front, so it's going to be a double whammy for them there. Meanwhile, Firelink and Tech Squirt's took a bit of damage, so he's having to duck down low while Firelink pushes. But these guys have now got the blue on the back, so they've kind of been leapfrogged by team number 9. Chef in the distance.
They're doing a hard push right now. As you can see, the Blues already back up behind him. Tech Squirt's just pushing along the outside of it. Chief 17 is, Chief 7X is off in the distance. Firelink finally gets line of sight, tries to take them down. They know that they have to push directly into this duo, and they have somebody right on their heels. Tech Squirt does get the down onto one of them. You can see Firelink instantly turns back over, trying to get the kills on top of this, and there we go. They do get dropped.
Yeah, nice work from Tech Squirt. Gets himself the 3rd kill of the game for himself. Meanwhile, actually, I think Doc and Shroud have stopping by at the crate. Looks like they're going to get themselves stacked out. Looks like they're heading towards that. So I don't want to pickle getting himself the kills. So let's see what they're going to get in there. It's a Groza. It's a fat stack with the, obviously, geared out of his mind, Shroud, I believe, in this one. Gets himself all the T3. Looks like the 2-times champ is just going to be the defender and cover him off and send Shroud in, stacked out.
So we can see that everybody up in Georgia Pool is just stacked up on top of each other. We've got those guys that were in the northern area now trying to force their way through. So it's got Secret that's kind of posted right up next to Stankley that we were talking about beforehand.
That Groza coming into an urban fight could be huge. They're going to be going over Everest, so they're going to be taking the time, sitting on the edge of the circle. Meanwhile, these teams already taking the real estate, getting themselves as much as they can out. Chef did just catch a glimpse. I think he just saw them and certainly heard them in the apartments. He seems a little unsure. They can hear the footsteps, but they just don't quite know where he is. We can see, of course, Jim Deasy up on the top. He just caught a glimpse.
You can see that he's trying to get some information. Finally, he does line them up, takes some shots at him, but they do go a little bit wide. Jim Deasy lines up and takes some shots over the wall, does manage to get it down onto one of them, but now it's all, you can see that it's just turning into chaos. Once these bullets start coming out, everybody starts looking this direction.
Yeah, you can see Team Secret, they got themselves the double. Smitty doing the work there. Grenades coming down. He's going to try and finish off the Chef.
It's a hard grenade to hit, specifically with that car there. You have to hit it just right on top of him. Ben Weiss doing a slow retreat off of this. He wants to take the shots, but the moment he takes that shot, he's going to give himself away.
It's an easy shot. He's going to go for it. He's going to line it up. Maybe it's just sat there, manages to pop the dome. Obviously, it's the M16, so it doesn't quite finish him off. It is has been dropped in damage a little bit recently. Here's the blue moving in, though. It's about to pop in. Where will it swing down? It goes down to South Georgia Pole, so everybody here now has to make the move. It's a fierce swing down south, but it suits Shroud and the Doc really well as they're coming down Everest.
Yeah, they just have to reposition themselves just down a touch, but there are so many duos right now inside of North Georgia, and they have to cross over the huge bay. So you can see everybody's kind of staking up, getting a little bit of life. Ben Wise is still alive off to the side, but he's just near on surrounded. There are 3 different duos around him at the direct time, and he's just trying to find the right path, trying to get some more information, and it's so nerve-wracking at this stage because everybody's kind of moving just a little bit, so you hear footsteps around every single corner, and it looks like Ben Wise is going to run right into Secret.
And the other side of the wall, of course, could just vault over, but he's not going to look. Smitty and Papaya, they completely hear the footsteps. They know that someone's around there. And this actually is delaying them, right? With the blue coming in, you can see the zone's going to be on there with 34 seconds. Smitty gets a little peek on Ben Wise, but they're not going to be realizing it is just one player looking for the second as well.
And they are set for a close range fight. They've got the DP, they've got a UMP. Ben Wise is going to have to retreat back on this 20 seconds, and they have so far to go. And you see now Secret stepping back down. They're going to put themselves in this live side of other squads.
Yeah, and they're looking straight down. You can see the problem is they can't just go straight for the water because the water is not going to be their friend right now. So they have to take this fight. And the water's going to be on their backs. The blue's going to be on their backs. This is going to be really hard for everybody down in South Georgia Pole. Ben Wise with the UMP tries to get a couple of shots in the backside of Papaya. Smitty pushing up high. He's going to come straight around the corner. Won't be expecting it. The DP working. He knows he's gone straight down, so he knows that team is gone. But all the gunshots has drawn another team towards them.
And they have to disengage. The circle is on top of them right now. Everybody still has to run about 500 more meters. You can see that we've got Secret Smithy posted up around this corner. He's going to have a duo run right in front of him. His bullets coming down around him. He can't even do anything because the play zone takes him off to the side as well. You can see Papaya's lined up the shots, gets vengeance for his teammate, trying to run over there, get the res off on it, but this is just going to start to build up faster and faster as they have so far to go.
That's the third circle. That's going to hurt. He's going to try and go for the res there. It's going to be pushing up on them. The circle shrinks once again in South Georgia Pole. You can see Shroud here. Only got the 1 kill so far. The 2 times doing the work for him. Obviously popping off with a lot of double kills previously, but this Kar 98 in this current patch can do a lot of work. And there we go. That's what I was talking about, the revive. It was so risky to go in the third circle, and then it's going to be Secret going out as 15th place. That is not what they're looking for.
Just about everybody that was in that North Georgia Pole area is just dying due to play zone. You can see it just ticking across the top right.
Ooh.
Now everybody's trying to run back down and through.
So Doc and Shroud have got Shadow just to the right of them. The team that won the last game is Team 24. They are Fudge Grande. Now, Shroud's been popping shots off, so they're hearing this Kar 98. They're hunting it.
See, they're moving down into this low ground area, just trying to play along the dips. They're trying to keep their ears out. And yes, this is so close. They can hear every single shot that Shroud and Doc are making. But Shroud and Doc are kind of pushing more towards the west at the direct time. Looks like they're trying to go for a couple of those flat tops are in that area right in front of them that are occupied at the direct time, just a little bit south of the hospital area.
Well, it's a tricky area to be. There's not a lot of cover. If the circle pushes them against them, it's going to force them right out. At the moment, they're just playing on the edge of it. Shadow and Old Fudge Grande continue to work the way around. They're just sticking around in that little divot area at the moment, so the next circle could be big. It's either going to force them into Georgia Pole for the urban fight towards the hospital, or it's going to come their way and force everybody in Georgia Pole at the moment out of it, in which case it'd be carnage.
See, Fizzle's kind of lining up, trying to get some information right now. Circle's about to update off the side here. Going to be really interesting with the potential of Hospital having a high ground location to overlook so much of this, and it's just going to move right into no man's land. So everybody's going to have to move into kind of cowering behind trees, rocks, whatever they can. And now, again, we're going to have to see a mass exodus coming out of Georgia Pool. We don't want to see that same mutual assured destruction that we saw last time where everybody just dies to blue zone, but there are so many duos posted up here.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty gruesome as they all work their way out towards. There's first teams going out. FPS Dave making their way across. They're going towards Hospital on the south side. You got the S1 guys sitting on the edge. It's such ballsy play to go across big open ground, but they've been the first to do it. Everybody else is so focused on one another in the buildings, they've not even noticed them. Just straight bare naked ass run across the fields.
It's one of those gambles that can sometimes pay off for you, or it can just be absolutely horrible. As you can see, everybody is just lined up on top of each other right now, just trying to figure out exactly where each duo is at, because it's just footsteps galore in this location.
Ooh, Shroudy and the two-time are making their way around. Now, Shadow and Co are in the divot here. I think Shroud has maybe sniffed them out. He definitely has, having a peek around. Saw someone peeking out there, but this time it's going to be someone that can actually shoot back. Shadow certainly not afraid to go for the shots. As last I remember, he's got himself an M16 with a 4 times. And he's getting the peak. You can see 8 times for Shroud here with the Kar 98. So one little pop will do the damage.
They're just trying to peek back and forth. Right now, they can almost just assist each other. As long as they keep a lookout towards everybody that's going to be looking and moving across that low ground area, they can almost just assist each other and like kill anybody that pushes into their area, because both of these duos seem to know exactly where they are. Grenades are coming out at this point, though. This is going to be a long-range throw. Halva's going to fall into it a little bit high, but it's going to force them down into the divot.
But for Shadow and Elfudge Grande, they've got another team pushing their back, so they need to get pulled into this one. There's a team coming towards them. They did just hear the grenade, and it kind of stopped them. But you can see Fizzy and co making their way across there. Heartless DJ, of course, he was the man with the VSS as they start to trade blows.
Coming in with this nice weapon, got the ghillie suit, gonna be running right up on top of him, about 150 meters away. This is just gonna become a killing box right now, as everybody's gonna end up trapped inside of this location. See, those shots are coming out back and forth now between Shroud and Shadow's groups as they're popping back and forth, and it's just gonna open up the backside for him to walk right into.
Yeah, they're gonna be completely, they're so preoccupied staring at Shroud and the dock. They're getting a little peek across there. You can see the shots going off, not working out for them. It's going to be easy. Heartless DJ is just going to come straight up behind them over the brow of the hill. They're not going to have a clue what's going to hit them in the back here.
This could actually work to the detriment of PZ and Heartless as they step over into this, because yes, they actually do see Doc and Shroud instead, and so they're now firing directly over the tops of them.
Okay, let's have a listen to exactly what Doc and Shroud are doing.
Good shot from behind.
Go wide. Keep going wide. Keep going wide. Wide left. Wide left. Yeah, yeah. One's low. One's low. Oh.
Yeah.
Low. The other one's low too. Got it. Oh no. Solo.
He's got enough.
Oh, the dock goes huge. Save Shroud. 7 kills for the dock there, massive. And that was just, it could have gone so badly wrong. And you heard Shroud, it's like, uh-oh, this is gonna go wrong. But the dock spins. I gotta be honest, I don't know how Heartless with that Groza didn't come out on top in that duel, but my God, everybody else's attention has been drawn their way, but this is looking very good for them now. They're in the last 12.
They don't have to go too far to get in the safe zone. Everybody's kind of getting caught in all these fights in the northern area right now. As you can see, they are all kind of aware of each other, where they were located at. But now Shroud and Doc have so much loot that they can work with by getting those 2 duos down, specifically at that stage. Now it's just a matter of, can they find anywhere inside the safe zone that can provide them any form of cover?
So, 7 teams remain. S1 inside, GT Money in there. Oh, FPS Dave, Firelink, we saw these guys earlier on. That Mark 14 for Firelink, working out well for him as they start to squeeze into the zone. Now the circle starting to be on their backs. This is, of course, the 5th circle. It's going to be doing a lot of damage, but there's not a great deal of coverage. It's all just hugging trees at the moment as FPS Dave and Ari will get taken down by PCPP McLambie.
They're just kind of gatekeeping up on top of this hill, and anybody that's trying to move down into the low range, they're just getting decimated by bullets. Finally, TechSquirt forces them off to the side, and I really like the play that we're seeing from TechSquirt and the Firelink. Every time they get it down, they go for a reposition, trying to figure out a new point that they can try to attack from, so that way nobody can ever exactly pin them down.
Well, McLambie's going to try and crawl away from this one. Doesn't look like it's going to work out too well for him. As TechSquirt finishes him off, it leaves Manarelli on his own as he pops the Kar 98 off. Not going to work. Fizzle taking shots on Shroud and Doc over on the side there. So Fizzle's been drawn into this one. Derp looks like he's about to be pushed by GT Money as well. That's going to be Firelink being taken down by the Doc. He's on fire in this game, and he's being lit up right now. I think that's Fizzle from distance. It is. It's Splinter peeking across. TechSquirt gets the 2 times down. Splinter's going to go for the shot. $60 goes the way of Splinter as he completes the kill. And now Shroud is left on his own.
He's looking back towards Fizzle. He feels he has to get control over this area. All across the way, it's just wide open field. He needs to get the guys that are right next to him. You can see Shroud's just trying to line it up, but Fizzle's moving from cover piece to cover piece. The circle is coming up right back behind him, and he's gonna have to step forward. I don't think that Fizzle is inside the safe zone yet.
No, it's just got to scrape in. He's got his teammate off to the side there. Splinter is doing the work for him. Now he comes out of the smoke, gets a little peek around the rock, shows his head to Shroud, and Shroud nearly takes it off, tries to make the run for it. Fizzle will go down to Shroud. Now he looks across. He knows exactly where Splinter is. He knows it's around that rock, looking for his teammate, confirms the kill, gets his 2nd of the game as he moves into the top 5.
The whole time that this is going on, though, you can see everybody's pincering towards Shroud. He's taking so much damage. He has just near on no life, trying to find somewhere that he can try to get some form of safety. safety, and Splinter takes him down.
That's $60 going Splinter's way. The S1 guys doing work and taking down both the Shroud and Doc. Now it's down to Splinter, GT Money, Derp, Clockwork, and Tech Squirt. So all these guys have actually been picking up kills throughout here. I think GT Money's been the man that's just been sitting in the crowd, but Splinter in the end, that's an easy one for him in the back of Derp. Clockwork gets himself the second, sees GT Money as well. He has the duck down, lost his helmet as well. Splinter looking for the kills. Tech Squirt sneaking in. It's going to be down to these two. I think GT Money is going to be on the sidelines just watching.
Tech Squirt has such a great position if he can manage to make it over near this hill that's directly in front of him. Splinter's taking off all of the contenders that are in this northern area. You can see that every single time that GT Money jumps up, just bullets come raining down towards him. GT Money's finally trying to get out of this little divot that he's in, trying to push over, but he knows exactly where Splinter is, but nobody knows where the other member is at the direct time.
He's got no scopes, that's the problem. I don't think he's got a scope. He's only got the red dot, where Splinter popping out with that Mark 14. It's a rapid fire in DMR. Can do a lot of damage. The recent patch really buffed that gun so massively. Tech Squirt, meanwhile, got himself a decent position, as you mentioned, and it's going to be down to the next circle. We're going to be in a bit of a stalemate here for the next three.
Well, Splinter actually is not yet inside the safe zone. He's right on the edge of it where he's at in the rock. I think that he's still going to have to come out and around this. So GT Money is going to have a chance to potentially take some shots at him if he's not too careful. You can see Blue's coming up right back behind him, and I think that he's probably going to need to move about 5 feet forward. Splinter's still totally afraid of where Tech Squirt is. He has no idea. You can see he's trying to scan every single location, and never, ever do you see Tech Squirt actually reveal where he's at.
Yep, just sticking behind that wooden shack in the distance. And I think Splinter's got a very good idea. You can see keeps peeking over towards it. Don't know whether he's managed to show himself out there. GT Money actually on the little flank there. Gets a little peek over towards Splinter. Gets a couple of shots on him. Splinter has to go down. He has got himself a 6 times. Just pops that out the bag on his M16. Decides to pocket it the second he needs it. So circle about to close in. Splinter, I think, is just inside on that rock that he's got covered. GT Money's been ducking back and forward. So where's it going to go? It goes on GT Money. They both need to come to him. He's in this little divot. He's been working it way for him. He knows exactly where Splinter is, but he's not going to know where Tech Squirt. Now, Tech Squirt can work his way around to the left-hand side and up and over the rock.
He can just come up right back behind this. GT Money, you can see, is having to hard focus in on where Splinter's at right now. Just doesn't want to give him a chance to move into the safe zone. So this could be a kind of a point of mutually assured destruction again, where these guys are just kind of taking pot shots back and forth at each other, and Tech Squirt can just walk up right back behind this.
Oh, he sees the shot, tries to go for it, doesn't manage to land the head. It's what he wanted. Splinter gets a peek around the side and takes a couple of bullets in the process. His armor's got to be bruised and battered by now, and you can see he's left around there. He's actually gone snake in the grass style as he works his way in. And GT Money keeps looking towards the rock. Splinter, though, that smoke is going to give his position away. Tech Squirt's on the move as well. He's going for the hillside. So he's going to sneak around. He's going to have clear vision of GT Money. Now the smoke draws his attention. He's going to be hearing the shots the whole time. If GT Money should have a very easy shot on him as it comes over the brow.
Tech Squirt and GT Money are both just focused in on the smokes right now. See that they're going to separate out right as soon as they're both losing line of sight towards each other. Splinter just runs straight and forward, does not see Tech Squirt. Tech Squirt just takes him down. Now that's giving away Tech Squirt's positioning, though, so you can see GT Money going for the reposition. Does see behind the trees. Bullets are starting to come out back and forth.
Doesn't work out for him, doesn't manage to land the shots, and he gives his position away as Tech Squirt goes for the peek around the side. He lands the kill and takes the chicken dinner here at DreamHack Austin for the duo tournament in game number 2.
Such a phenomenal play coming out from Tech Squirt there. Firelink also coming through. They were under fire and duress through so much of that round. We saw them have to move in position through fight after fight there.
Got to give it to the teams. It was 5th place in the end for the Doc and a Shroud. 7 kills for the Doc this time around, and Shroud on 2. Meanwhile, I think the guys that killed him was both Splinter and Fizzle in 3rd place. 6 and 2 kills for them. The winning team, of course, Tech Squill, 5 kills for him, and filing just with the 1. They did get themselves a crate in there as well, so really well played.
And also should point out that Team Secret came in on 15th. This is 2 rounds in a row that we haven't necessarily seen them playing at top performance. Keep in mind, these guys are squad players, so it's a little bit different than seeing duo style play. So, but I was kind of expecting them to be a lot more explosive inside of this tournament.
And you got to look at how the battle played out with the Doc and Shroud, right? Because we saw it happening, the pincer move. They came up against the previous winners of the last match, had a very close battle with them, and then another team comes over the prow. Shroud gets knocked. The Doc manages to get himself a quick spin and really just converts the spray and just gets himself a quick double. It's really nicely played.
So beautiful. And I know that the guys on the desk have so much they want to break down inside this, so we're going to go ahead and throw it back to you guys, and we'll see you back here in a little while.
Oh, hello, we are back. We're just having a fiddle with the sexy screen right now. We want to get it prepped so we can talk about what just happened. Toffees, I feel like the Doc might have heard you trolling him before that match started, because he really showed up your prediction of 3 kills there.
Well, I want to see him get at least 3 kills. And what I really meant was I want to see him get at least 3 kills in one fight. And he did that when he, defended Shroud in that beautiful 4K moment. And not just a 4K against some of the, I don't want to say new players that sort of just signed up. I mean, Shadow, the winner of our last match, was in that process. So that was just beautiful. I mean, Shroud and Doc splitting off, coming from 2 sides. I mean, it was a top-level flanking play.
Yeah, it's a rough position for them to play from as well, so I'm happy to see that. But the pinch on Shadow is perfect, and 4 kills on Doc. That was very nice to see.
And we have to give props to team number 12. That's Sizzle and Fizzle. So Fizzle went down to the Doc, and then Splinter, he took out both Shroud and the Doc. Shroud first, Doc first, I think, and then he got Shroud. So he is richer. Hopefully he's going to share that money with his teammate. I don't know if you guys would be feeling that generous.
If their names are that similar, I'm sure that they're probably out here having a good time together. So they'll take that bounty, go have a good time tonight, and sort of tell the legendary story about the time that he got a kill on Doc and Shroud.
And they managed to carry that forward to a top 3, so potentially they're going to be sitting really nice and high in the rankings there. And of course, our winners. Any surprises there?
I mean, I was excited to see GT Money in 2nd place. I thought he almost had it. He sprayed a little too soon at that end, but that's one of our 14-year-old players. So it was really cool.
Tech Squirt.
Yeah, no, GT Money. GT Money is 14. Exactly. So maybe a little bit of jitters there at the end. You get that one-on-one. This is my chance, sort of get a little bit of a shake going on, but super close to winning it. So it's fun to see our youngest players also show up in the top 2 of that match.
I don't know, though. With a name like Tech Squirt, we might be talking about 13-year-old here.
It's possible.
We're going to have to go and get Matcham to seek them out after the break. Any particular key moments, apart from obviously that 4K clutch that stood out to you?
So there was the first thing we'll talk about was the drop. It was a very different drop from the guys last game, and that's Doc and Shroud in terms of where they put themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time they went very rural in Komeski. This time they picked a drop right over in this area by that sort of eastern bridge, and then worked their way across the entire map. And that
I think they started here.
I'm sorry, it was this one over here. So they stayed in this area. They took a couple of short fights, picked some folks off on cars, and then had to literally fight their way across the map. Did a really good job. They kept getting caught in 3- and 4-person sort of throwdowns, and still managed to go as deep as they did.
Well, their positioning and how they move on the map, and obviously they have so many hours in this game, so they know how to move, they know how to position themselves. Unfortunately, these teams hurt them, and when you see Shroud and Doc off, if you see Doc getting 4 kills, and the kill feed is like, okay, Doc is over here, I want to position myself, making sure to get some of these kills.
Absolutely.
Well, we are ready to see the top 3 PUBG plays from that. I imagine that 4K clutch is going to be in there, so let's have a look.
Number 3, this is where Secret got caught a little bit in the blue here. Smitty was trying to get a heal off, but a nice rotation from his opponent. Saw them both coming with Papaya, had his back, blazed down Team 22, got the double kill, but at this point, the blue had passed, and though it's slow, the tick is too strong, and they just never bounced back from that.
Oh yeah, with Shroud here taking that holo Khan-98 shots. And actually he hit the second shot here as well, but it ended up being the Doc that finished him off. He saw him here running in the blue. He's gonna flip on him and shoot him with the car. So he hit him, it must be like a limb shot or something, and then Doc, he finished him up. And of course, it can only be, the 4K, of course.
So a beautiful play here. He got the finish on Shadow and his partner, but they turned around and had to deal with 2 spoilers out of nowhere. That's a Tier 3 helmet, Tier 3 vest, ghillie-suited Groza that the 2-times champion Doc used his trademark violence and momentum to take them out. And really, it was tough because he only had a fraction of a second. He was facing the wrong way as he finished off Shadow and had to not only kill them, but do an entire swing. And, catching that head right off of the full swing, that's not easy to do.
No, it was not bad players. It was Shadow that just won the last game with 10 kills, so very well played with them.
would you say that the Doc and Shroud are impressing you so far, or do you still think they need to turn it out a bit more? Are we getting our money's worth here at DreamHack Austin?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're bringing a lot of action. They, even with the bounties on their head, they're killing all takers, so that's really going well for them. And when we do see them taken out, it's not in a good old-fashioned 1v1. It's often third parties. This is actually the second time in a row that third parties have caused them trouble, because you saw in that fight where Doc did go with the 4K, he was down to 2 bandages, I think, and a stim at that point. So they were having trouble maintaining their heals because they kept getting caught in these fights.
Yeah, and they weren't able to loot the players that they killed as well. So they just transitioning all the time and having to move all the time. That really hurt their inventory.
And how do we feel about the teamwork that's happening in the Love Shack, as we named it earlier, so far?
You know, I thought they might play a little more independently, and I've been very impressed. It feels, and this is just the way that sort of watching it, that maybe Shroud's doing some of the positioning calls in the early game, and then once they get into sort of the thick of things in that 3rd, 4th circle and beyond, that I think it feels like they're sharing it a little bit. Shroud's saying, I'm gonna go right, and Doc's saying, I'm gonna go left, and they're kind of trusting each other to cover their angles, and that's a lot. I mean, you know, as somebody who's played on the pro scene, like, building the ability to trust someone to cover your off angle is not easily done.
I think they have a lot of good communication here, and they need to as well if you want to survive against these players, of course.
Well, they haven't got a chicken dinner just yet, but a lot of impressive kills. So we're going to go to a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have round 3, and we'll see if they can take it.